meeting here in 2025, finally. Meeting to order. And before we make any introductions or do anything, we always call on the Lord. So Senator Dr. Rett is going to pray for us at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We gather together one by one, two by two, three by three, and hope that your wisdom will rain down among us as we conduct the people's business. We thank you for this opportunity, even though it may be a rainy day in Georgia, but it's liquid sunshine in our minds. Give us your wisdom, and we ask these things. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We are going to do a roll call now, but since it's just a few, instead of you, our secretary, calling their names, we're going to start at that end, and you just tell your name, what committees you're on, or if you have any legislation that you think might come through urban affairs. Thank you.
Doc Rett, District 33, Marietta, Georgia. What committees am I on? Oh, Regulated Industry, Finance, Judiciary, Rules Committee, and Redistricting. And it's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you very much, Senator. Next, our brand new members, both of you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Senator Kenya Wicks, District 34, which encompasses Fayette and Clayton County. I'm on government oversight, Veterans Affairs, Science and Technology, Public Safety, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, welcome, Senator Wicks. I should call you Major, correct? Okay. Major, thank you very much. And our next new member.
Good afternoon, Senator Rashawn Kemp, Senate District 38. It's a Fulton County district, goes from Sandy Springs all the way down to Palmetto. And I serve on Education and Youth, Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, Government Oversight, and I can't think of the fifth one. But yes, excited to be here, and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Senator Sheikh Rahman, I'm all in Gwinnett. I have part of Lawrenceville, Norcross, Tucker, Duluth, Lilburn, and glad to be here with you all today. And I got this committee since I got elected. So, good to be with you all today.
Thank you very much. And Senator Lucas down there.
Senator David Lucas, represent half of Bill, part of Houston, all of Twiggs, all of Wilkerson, all of Hancock, all of Washington, and all of Johnson counties. Glad to be here with you. If you need me, just give me a call.
And your committees, please.
Urban Affairs, Appropriations, Transportation, Insurance and Labor, Utilities, what is it? I'm on something else. Okay, they put me on so many. Did I say appropriation?
But you did say appropriation, but I welcome you right now, and we have no bills given to us yet, but I was told today we would have about 4 bills sometime very soon. So we need your experience and knowledge and know-how, and thank you very much for attending. We're going to also hear from our staff. So that for the record, everybody will be here on the agenda today. Yeah, you can sit there.
Hi, I'm Sophia Ricketts. I'm one of the aides of the press office.
And we're glad to have you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Valencia John. I'm an intern with Senator James.
Doreen Henry here, Chief of Staff for State Senator Don Pemberton.
Vince Wiegand from Legislative Council Services.
And I'm Nathan Corbett from the Office of Policy and Legislative Analysis, better known as Senate Research.
Thank you all. And I'm Senator Donzella James, representing the 28th District, I've been told, wait a minute, what happened to 35? Did you lose it? No, they just shifted some numbers around and added and subtracted from our districts. And I say they because I didn't vote for it. But I'm happy they threw me in the Briar Patch because I love Cobb County. I never had it in my 35th district. But I found out that I knew a lot of people over there, and they came and they asked for different things. So we have a strong district that includes Cobb County's Mapleton, Austell, and Smyrna, most of Douglas County, except for Villa Rica, and then some of the unincorporated north part of Douglas. We don't have that anymore. And we do have Fulton County, where I live and where I've been representing for many, many years. But they gave most of it away. Even Senator Kemp, you even have some of my district. And I cried already. But no, we have the city of South Fulton, a portion of it. It just happened to be the portion I live in. It's like they went up and cut into it, but I'll take it. And also we have all the Chattahoochee Hills and a little sliver of two of the other cities, Palmetto and Fairburn. So before we get started, I'm so happy to have our other member that's a little seasoned. See, all these other people brand new. So would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us what committees you're on and anything else you want us to know about.
Sure. So my name is Senator Nikki Merritt, for those of you that don't know me. I am also the chair of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, and the committees that I serve here, well, I serve the 9th District in Gwinnett County, first of all. And the committees I have here, this one, of course, Natural Resources, HHS, Labor and Insurance, and I think that's all of them. Yeah, I think that's all of them. But yeah, that's it, and I'm excited for what we're gonna do this session.
Thank you very much. What we're gonna do first of all is approve the rules. And in your folder, everybody had a chance to kind of glance at it? Mm-hmm. They're very similar to the other, in fact, I think that these were the rules the past 2 years that we've had urban affairs. So take a look at it, and if you have any questions or changes or additions, we're able to take them today. And while you're looking at those, let me say that our Vice Chairwoman, Sonia Harper, could not be here today. Senator John Elbers had to go to the, what was it? The Farm Bureau meeting, and he's going to try to join us in a few minutes. And Senator Freddie Powell Sims had a conflict with her meeting, but that takes care. Oh, and Emmanuel Jones is probably sipping virgin pina colada, though, okay, in the Philippines. But he'll be back. He has some business to attend to there. Thank you. Yes, yes. We're ready.
I'd like to make a motion.
Has anybody else have any concerns, additions? Yes, go ahead, please.
Motion do pass.
And it's been moved and second that we do accept the Senate Committee on Urban Affairs rules for 2025 and 2026. So thank you, and we
have to do a vote.
We have to take a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? You didn't say nothing. So it passed. Thank you very much. We are going to now discuss some of the bills that we personally have, or those that we've been working on. Most of you know that we had, 5 hearings on HOAs, which also included condominium associations and trailer associations. And we met and talked about the predatory HOAs, because all of them are not doing anything wrong. But then it's a very big majority that has been really, they were accused of stealing people's homes, because they put liens on them for not just not paying your bill, your monthly addition. Most of those people were up on that. But if your grass got, say, 6 inches tall, they would come to your door and tell you that you have to pay a $100 fine now and cut it. And if it's not cut within a few days, they're gonna start adding other money. And as it turned out, I found out over in the city of South Fulton and in Douglas County, they were charging $100 a day for cutting the grass. And after 10 days, then they would come and cut it themselves and give you an enormous bill that would be added to what you already owed. And this is unacceptable. And the people came out and expressed that. So we did introduce some legislation for that, and that's Senate Bill.
From last year?
No, this year, we turned it in. They assigned it yesterday. I'll give you the numbers later. And also we worked on rent control in the state of Georgia, mainly because we had many students that came to talk to us that said they live off campus, but they couldn't afford it anymore because they were doubling and tripling and quadrupling when it's time to renew your lease. And we tried to address just that concern when we found out that the state of Georgia had a prohibition, right, against all rent control. So then that is along with 8 other states, I believe, that have that prohibition. But most states who are doing well, they 1 or 2 had caps that they passed on the Senate and House sides, like New York, like different ones. But most of them allow local control, and that's what this bill that we put in would do. It would lift the prohibition, and it would be on the ballot if it does pass. And then once it passed, then it would give the counties and the cities the authority to look at their own, because everybody is not on the same pay scale. For example, we went down to Valdosta, and the highest rent that they were paying was $1,200, but it was $800 last year. So it still went up tremendously as well. So this is why we are addressing that again this year. Hopefully, it will go through the committee process, and we'll be able to pass it over, because we have many people in the House who also introduced something the last time, but this time the House of Representatives, Senator Lucas, is not allowing their people to have more than 10 bills, and that includes resolutions. So if somebody dies in your community and you want to give a resolution and you have 10 already, we'll say you have to tell them wait till next year to die, and I give, excuse me, that's my little warps. Sense of humor, y'all. It's not, it's pitiful. But that is what's happening. But thank goodness it's not happening on the Senate side. So we want to make sure it does not happen. What is the problem if we introduce them? They don't, in the first place, most of them don't get assigned to a committee or rules or anything. And unless it's a privilege resolution, it's very difficult to pass anyway. But we're on top of it. I like to see local control of the rent. And we found out in many of the hearings about the numerous new landowners and property owners in the state of Georgia. We didn't see them though, because most of them are in other countries. And also, not only that, some corporations around the United States have started their own mortgage companies that help the HOAs and others. So we have a responsibility. I did drop those bills, and I'll make sure that all of you get a copy. If you want to sign on to it, good, but I wanted it to go across the other side by the last day that we have turnaround. Excuse me. Please don't do like me. Please cut your phones off or down right now. Okay. So I'm going to start this time on this end to find out about any idea of legislation or any legislation, especially if it can come to urban affairs.
One of the ones I've thought about is probably dealing with the Panama Canal. I hadn't figured out what, but I know ships come through there, and we do get products from those ships who come through the Panama Canal, and I think that's something that we can, this committee can deal with it, because it's kind of like international affairs, but it would come to the Urban Affairs Committee.
Thank you. In fact, that's very good, because some people from Savannah asked me about how to make sure that they get a route, say like from Africa, and now that the Panama Canal has opened again, that they go through there and then to the destination of Savannah or whatever. And they dredged the port of Savannah so larger barges would be able to go through there. So that is something that Senator, I hope you do introduce and let us look at it. Okay, thank you. Next.
So one thing that I'm a little concerned about, I'm not sure if you all seen an article, a study came out from Georgia State University sometimes, around this time last year, that 18,000 homes were bought in Metro Atlanta, the residential single-family home owned by Wall Street Farm. That's what, last few years they bought, and they're renting it. So that's one of the reasons. I mean, I still get, I'm sure some of you will do the same thing. If you want to sell your house, you get a solicited email or text, whatever it is. You can sell your house today, and then you can buy the same house, the same price that you sell, next day. So I don't know what we can do about it. That's something on my mind. I'm thinking about it.
You also have our research over there
At your service, ma'am, wherever we can be.
who will work with you on that, and you too, Senator. Senator, go ahead. Are you finished?
Yeah, no, I'm almost.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
That definitely how we can, want to make sure when our young folks that getting out of college or, getting a job, they want to get a first home, and it's getting tough because you can't afford, affordable housing at a big crisis, Metro Atlanta and my district is all over the, state of Georgia and everywhere else nowadays. So, and especially young folks, you can buy these houses cash, you gotta go finance, and when the big corporation comes in, they're buying it with their cash. They have unlimited cash, so how you compete that? So I don't know whether we can figure out some kind of mechanism, some kind of fees, whatever it is, to make sure, corporates start buying house, how we can control that, something like that. Yeah.
Senator Lucas will ask for your input on what we can do with the problem that he just brought up about housing.
Well, it's kind of hard. I own real estate too, so
I know,
you know,
me too. But you're good.
Well, you know,
If you're
I try
not
to- I-
predatory, then you're good.
I try to keep it reasonable,
Yes.
but you know, in order not to be a slumlord, you had to keep the property up. And if you buy things like doors and those kind of things, and then you go by the house, collect your rent, and the kids swinging on the doors, and now you got to put a new door in, that costs. So you got to add that cost to those folks that are living there. But I think part of the problem is in places, upstate folks live up north, who have good income. They find properties down south that are cheap. The price of the property is a lot lower than it would be where they're from. And basically you have a lot of absentee landlords. Sometimes they get realtors to handle their property for them, and then other times they handle it themselves. And what you have now is a lot of folks who are going into what I call good neighborhoods, but they're older neighborhoods, and they're buying up the properties and renting them out. And you might have a neighbor for 3 months and then they're gone because they've been kicked out because they can't pay the rent. So, you know, those kind of things that are happening right now. So we have to keep an eye on it and try to make sure that our neighborhoods stay up. And right now, it's getting to be a problem with out-of-town investors.
Thank you. Let me add, since you said that Savannah's Housing Authority, we went down to one of their meetings with our Urban Affairs Committee, and they have been calling me. They wanted us to be on Zoom today, but we were unable to get the Zoom started up here. But they're gonna come to the next one, and they sent letters. But that's like maybe 50 people that will be supporting us from that area, from the Savannah and surrounding area. So it's strength in numbers once we get that, and then put your, put your ideas into action.
We need somebody to help you hook it up. You said, you go down the street, who can go for a discount?
Can we put him out, Joe? I'm just kidding. Making jokes over here. He's making jokes over here. Thank you. Are you finished? Okay. And that's a very good idea, and it goes along with what we've been working on already. And Senator Lucas, I forgot when you first talked about the Panama Canal. The first thing I thought about was when we were on the other committee, and we end up going to Cuba. Everybody. Oh, can we go to Panama Canal? Things have changed. But if so, it's a lot of things going on there, including on the top level with the new president about the Panama Canal. And we're the ones that worked to get it reopened and worked so many years and spent so much money. So I want to make sure that we look at that no matter what.
You have to understand that the Panama Canal and an agreement was signed when Jimmy Carter was president, because there was rioting and everything going on in Panama about us owning the Panama Canal. This president is talking about using military force to take it back over.
I know. That won't work, I hope.
Well, I hope he don't get us in a wall. Shit.
And the biggest problem, though, I believe, would be the fact that this thing is shorting out. But it would, the biggest problem we would have with that is if we worked hard to try to get the rerouting, they have travel, what designs, what do
they
you
have
call?
what they call travel corridors,
Right,
especially for
corridor.
commercial ships. So basically, the canal is a way of a ship going in. They run the water up high enough so it can get through there, and it's a shortcut between that and going all the way around.
Yeah, and that would help with imports and exports. At this time, we truly need it with so many new tariffs coming up. So we don't know what to expect. But I still think the reason we went to Cuba that time was because Obama had just lifted the embargo against them.
Right.
And we saw for ourselves and visited all of the businesses they had there. So I think the same thing, it's better when you see it than when you just talk about it or read about it. Thank you. Senator Merritt.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have actually a body of bills that I am working on. It is the Family and Workforce Justice Agenda. Under that bill package, there's a few pieces of legislation, but three I'm going to highlight. One is a landlord penalties bill, which is what we are in line with what we're talking about. Basically, any landlord that has over 10 properties, if you have repeat violations, the municipalities and the counties or your local government can keep increasing your penalties. So sometimes the penalty is like $100, but this goes up with each violation that they have. More of an incentive, especially for those who have more than 10 properties. These are the ones we're targeting. We're not targeting like people who have 1 or 2 properties, but it is these absentee landlords and these corporate landlords that we're trying to go after. That's one thing. I also have a red flag bill, that's gun control, and I have an AI surveillance bill. That bill has to do with how AI is being used to control consumer pricing and workforce pricing for things like when you call your Uber. These companies are using AI to bid for the driver who would take the lowest fare. And in that, of course, it's cheating the driver, and also at the consumer level, we already know they're hiking up our prices. So the price that they're paying the driver and the price they're paying us, there's discrepancy there. But that bill will curb some of the abuse that's happening on AI surveillance type technology. But those are just 3. I have a few more, but those are just the 3 I wanted to highlight. And I have a meeting, so I got a meeting in my office. I have to leave.
All right. The only thing we were going to discuss after this is whether we have a bill or not. We're going to eat. Yeah, who likes Chris? What is the name of it? Ruth Chris. Yeah, y'all. For a committee dinner, and Senator Harbison's committee, veterans. What is it? His properties. His institution and properties. Is going to go to the same dinner with us, as well as the Interstate Corporation. That's Colson, Senator Colson. Okay, so we're gonna go on. Go ahead. You're next.
Yeah, just very briefly, my focus right now is on an education bill to eliminate 3Qing and how we teach students how to read. But one thing that I have been considering working on is to require some training for people that sit on HOAs. Right now, board members of schools have to go through a certain amount of training per year. We obviously have an issue with HOAs running pretty wild, so I think that could be one way to help curb that. So, that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then Senator Weeks.
So basically, my initiative is veteran homelessness, but there's a interest in HOAs and solar panels. So that's something that is an initiative of mine. But my main focus is veterans. And also I'm doing a role dedication to my successor, Senator Valencia. So I'm doing a role dedication for her.
Have you already dropped that bill?
Yes, it's already been dropped. So we're just in the process of putting it in the putting it in the newspaper for that appointed time, and then proceeding on from there.
Good, I would like to sign it.
Yes.
We worked together for 1,000,000 years, even before we came to the legislature. She
You
was a
already
school
signed
board.
it, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You already
Thank
signed
you.
it.
So, we're gonna ask our research department to work with you on 2 of the bills that she mentioned.
At your service, ma'am.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That's the meeting.
Okay, say it.
Thank you. I gotta go to a committee meeting.
Well, we're gonna think about where we would go to eat. Roof Chris was my suggestion. That's fine. Okay, so and we would invite our partners, our staff, to go with us, +1. And if you want to be the person to go with us to our committee dinner, it's going to be 3 committees together. So we are going to do that. And I'll let you know, Diego is looking for the right date. Did you come up with it?
We're working on it.
You working on it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, thank you, everyone. Wait a minute, gotta adjourn. So we thank you all, and we will address one of the pieces of legislation in about 2 weeks if they have not given us the 4 that the Lieutenant Governor told me he was giving us. So get ready to work, roll up your sleeves, and it's time to move forward and get your legislation introduced as well. Bye. Our meeting is adjourned.